Hello everybody, my name is Luigi Bengaro. I'm a Mass Effect fan and I'm here to ask the question, is it fair to hate on Mass Effect Andromeda? So a year ago I released a video, I'll link it below, where I talked about the upcoming, at that time, Mass Effect Andromeda. And I had talked about my fears, I had talked about why Mass Effect 2 was such a great game. Mass Effect 1 was a good game, and we don't talk about Mass Effect 3 because it never existed. And as I'm recording this, May of 2017, Mass Effect Andromeda has been released on all systems about a month ago. And I promised myself that I would, before I commit to buy it, that I would look up some Let's Plays, some YouTubers, and to see their thoughts before I commit my money. And lo and behold, it was panned. I'm sure they made a lot of money with Mass Effect Andromeda, possibly from newcomers and fans. But the fans of the original didn't like it. It's the animations and the poor writing. The animations with these jarring mouth movements and the eyes, especially on the human and Asara characters, look like they were like constantly surprised. It looked unnatural. It didn't look relaxed, as in other games, especially previous Mass Effect games. And since this has been fixed with an update, a patch, and the eyes are just getting some shadow to make it look more relaxed. But what the patch can't fix is the story. And this is all going from stuff that I've seen and read by a bunch of different YouTubers. And they say that the story is mediocre. And from what I've seen from Let's Players, is that it seemed like the main characters, there's no depth to them. And they seem like they're teenagers, just don't know what to do. The main premise of Andromeda is that the council races, well, with the exception of the Krogan, I think, sent an expedition into the Andromeda galaxy before the events of Mass Effect 2. Takes them 600 years to go to the new galaxy and to colonize the new world, to set a new home. And it seems like the characters act like teenagers, don't know what to do. This should be an important mission for the fate of the galaxy, because we can't beat the Reapers conventionally. That's a joke. So you would think they would have some, they would know what they're doing. Instead, the Pathfinder gets killed, voiced by Clancy Brown, and I wanted to play as that character and not as Sarah or whatever the male character's name, Ryder, because he knew what he was doing. He knew the stakes of this, and I don't understand why they got this fish out of water. I mean, and of course, the main antagonist is the Ket. And like I said, I haven't played the game, but what I've seen is that they're the main antagonist, which is kind of boring, and it's a generic space opera. And what really should happen, Andromeda should focus on, they're in a new world, to use a generic term, a new setting where the antagonist should be this setting. There are loads of hostile plants and environments, and Mass Effect, especially Mass Effect 2, if you read the planet screens, description says that most planets in the Milky Way is unsuitable, at least for human life. And they will make it like a big deal out of it and use some semblance of science. Like the Elcor planet has high gravity, that's why they look the way they do. The Volus can't breathe oxygen, they're going to breathe methane. the Turians and the Quarians can only eat certain kinds of food. They've got, they made it a point that life is diverse. It's not like in Star Trek where every new planet that they arrive into looks like California. So the patch can fix the graphics to an extent, but it can't fix the writing. It can't fix my face is tired. But the thing is, I'm saying this all out of my ass. Because this is what I've seen. Is it fair to hate on Mass Effect Andromeda? Is it fair to say, I pretty much decided not to buy this game. I've been enjoying previous games. I still haven't finished Dragon Age Inquisition, so sue me. And I think Dragon Age, I can see the resemblance in what I've seen from Andromeda with Inquisition and Inquisition's somewhat open world-ish of Inquisition. And usually I only do a review or a thought video or a reflection videos on a game after I played it. I can only judge a game correctly if I played it. So is it fair of me to say, no, I don't want to play Mass Effect Andromeda because I haven't played it yet. I've only seen what I've seen. And judging by what I've seen, is it fair to say no? Now, an argument to that is, yeah, of course. This is why reviews exist of movies and games. Because I come in a country called Australia, and in Australia games are expensive. Some can cost up to 80 Australian dollars, which is about, it could be 95 American dollars for all I know, or like 90 euros. And they're expensive. Games are expensive in Australia because they're expensive. It's got nothing to do with the shipping costs. It's got nothing to do with the boats or the planes or the tariffs or the taxes on imports. No, they sell games at a higher price in Australia because they know we will pay for it, and we do pay for it. So I've kind of made it my mission when I see bargain hunting, buying games with full DLCs. For example, I bought Mass Effect 2 with all the DLCs, including all the new guns and new NPCs and Lair of the Shadow Broker, etc., etc. For about 50 Australian dollars. That's a good price for like hours and hours of content. And to this day, I still remember my time in Mass Effect 2. So, I'm not going to part with my money if I read a review for a video game or a movie and the reviewers say that it's not really worth my time. So, on the subject of eyes, in Mass Effect 2, they had an entire team dedicated to the eyes of the characters. You notice that the Solarians blink upwards. The Drell, for example, have 2 sets of eyelids. And so I don't understand what went wrong, but I do know what went wrong is because they had another team to do Mass Effect Andromeda. This team worked on the multiplayer aspect of Mass Effect 3, which didn't exist, but it had very good multiplayer, and you could still find some games if you go online. So they were more used to the multiplayer aspect to it. So the shooting in Mass Effect Andromeda, for what I've seen, once again, because I haven't played the game, looks good. Just the story is not. And on the subject of Dragon Age Inquisition, I bought the game without seeing any reviews. So the complete contrast of this situation. Because I played the other 2 games before and I really liked it, and I decided that any reviews would ruin my enjoyment of it. And I really much enjoyed Dragon Age Inquisition. I think it is a really good game. And so when I went on the internet and saw some reviews, people said it was like, there were so many complaints, like it was cancer. What the hell? The thing is, just like with Fallout 4, with Fallout 4, I knew going into it that it wasn't going to be as great as New Vegas or as good as Fallout 3. It wasn't going to be the same. Fallout 4 was always going to be an action RPG. It was never going to be an RPG. I still think it's a great game. I think it's very enjoyable and it doesn't deserve the criticism. So does Mass Effect Andromeda deserve the criticism? If I'm willing to forego reading the reviews for Dragon Age Inquisition and still come out thinking that the game was impressive, and then I go and read the reviews and see the Let's Plays of Mass Effect Andromeda and come to the conclusion that the game is not just for me, what am I supposed to do? So I'm going to ask a question. Is it fair to hate on Mass Effect Andromeda? Is it fair to base my opinion on what I saw instead of what I've played in game? Thank you for listening.